Okay, let's go over the major problem that's going on in the AFC West. Again, the Chargers are still number 2 in the division, but it can't help that they're overly inconsistent. Now, of course, Khalil Mack, Derwin James, Kenneth Murray, Jamari Slayer, Corey Lindsey. They're losing a lot of offensive line depth. Mike Williams, that they still have that's still suffering over that ankle injury, with Trey Pickens. The only person that came back over the past several weeks due to injury was Keenan Allen, worth of anything. And since their bye week, that was week 8, they have only won 2 of their last 5 games. Sure, they were against division-leading opponents, their last 2 games. They got a convincing point deficit against the bottom-feeding Arizona Cardinals and only won by a field goal against the Atlanta Falcons, when they lost to the Chiefs and the 49ers in convincing fashion by double digits. And only lost by an insufficient scoring drive and over Josh Jacobs' dominant rushing. The Chargers just keep showing this potential. Is Herbert going to show up? Are we going to get something from Austin Eckler? Is the defense going to run? Is the defense going to pursue, stay consistent so they don't let out, their weak run stopping, strategy? It's an embarrassing too, because I always thought they had potential to be an exciting team, especially over this offseason that had nearly anybody around the division above 500. But no, that goes for the East Coast teams around both conferences apparently, that can make the playoffs. We're barely seeing that. Sure, Herbert has started over all of his games so far around the NFL season. But if we look how he passes, man, he'll be like trying to throw his whole body into it, exaggerate his carries, and then they make it too overly reliant on the pass game, or the game management is just terrible. And this is a team with decent rushing depth, and always another player has to step up over the amount of momentum they have. Now they fell short being 2 games above 500, at least trying to sneak around the division, to the Chiefs still owning it. It's sad. I've seen Gerald Everett be a good first down option. DeAndre Carter has been exceptional in the game against the 49ers, in the last game against the Raiders, the Chiefs, the Falcons, the Broncos. He's been exceptional. But just trying to be a scoring offense is not enough when it comes to clutching out possessions, when the defense is just so mediocre. And to not covering, overly relying over zone or cover 2 around their own side of the field, or just letting out games where even the Raiders of all teams, look like they can go to the Super Bowl around the Chargers' possession. There cannot be an excuse for how inconsistent they could be with the amount of talent like Asante Samuel, Khalil Mack, getting to spots, trying to pursue the splits, and then they just allow an automatic first down whenever it's a third down convert when they're possibly at least 10 yards off the mark. It's agitating how inconsistent the Chargers can be in games where you think they had a possibility of getting a massive winning streak. Because they should have won their game against Vegas. That was only down by 7. They should have beaten at least the Niners after closing them out if it wasn't for that terrible game planning around the fourth quarter. And they were just a field goal away to at least tying and heading to overtime against the Chiefs. They were starting off hot around the first half of the season, and then as soon as they clutch out against teams that actually know their schemes or just know how to game manage, the possession of the ball a lot better, like the Niners and Chiefs, and sometimes the Raiders, because the Raiders actually do have good offensive talent and good game management when it comes to defensive schemes when they try. And now they're off to Miami, and I don't think they're even going to win that game, even though Tua got exposed by the Niners defense last week. And then they're off to face one of the better defensive units in the NFL with the Titans. Hopefully, and I mean hopefully, I get to at least get my prediction right and see the Chargers in the playoffs. Because their final two games, majority of road games, with the Colts and Broncos that are absolutely dreadful this season. And then they're off still technically on home soil because SoFi is also where the Chargers play, where they're going to be matching up against the LA Rams. So, and there's no excuse here over this extent. Because Herbert, he was the earliest to mark around 3,000 yards. He still shows out. But the interceptions got to stop around the second half of the game. Rushing can be exceptional because the first half of the season had the Chargers being the best offense in the NFL to just being an absolute train wreck when it comes to the clutch, or at least game management when there's at least 5 minutes to go and you guys are not utilizing the time that you guys have. It pisses me off. But that's my opinion. How you guys feel? Down below. Do you like instant, college freshman frat bro looking Justin Herbert just inconsistently forcing himself to chuck over game-winning drives? Or their Down syndrome head coach actually think of a game plan that could actually take under 3 to 5 minutes to figure out, so you guys don't even always get into these close game-winning drive situations? I'm just asking. That's it for me. How you guys feel? Down below. This is the DC Show. Subscribe if you want more news or takes or anything controversial coming out of my mouth in this channel. Thanks for watching.